Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, we're going to be talking about why the best and the shiniest tech platform could be liability for your business. Now, we've gone through 3 whole seasons, 78 or something episodes, lots of information that I've shared from my career as a tech professional, as a tech manager, and then as a tech director. A lot of things that I could potentially share more of, and if you have questions, please do leave them in comments on the videos on YouTube or on the website, which is technoleadership.org. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel so that you're notified of future videos as they are released. Now, getting on to this episode. There's 2 kind of camps I've seen in the tech space. One camp loves what has been working and will continue to, maintain it, support it, keep that running. And then there's the other end extreme where you want to get the absolute newest thing out there, thinking that it's the greatest thing ever. And obviously there's a spectrum in between that exists. And I believe that in years of working in the space, that we need to be closer to the leading edge, but not push across to the bleeding edge, because that can then come with liabilities in productivity, in stability, and all those aspects, which is known. We understand that. And so we usually tend not to be at that bleeding edge unless you have some form of capability to be able to do pilot testing and then be part of the whole development process of a platform and then bring that into production. But in a lot of cases, what you do want is following good process. Just putting in the latest, greatest, and shiniest tech is not the answer to potential tech debt that's been accumulated over 5 years, 10 years, even more in some cases, unfortunately. In some big corporations, even if they do have licensing and everything, they sometimes do not move from an older operating system. Yes, they'd have legacy systems working, and there's a lot of complexity involved in it. But you still need to find a balance to enable business to function well, to give it the competitive edge that a business needs to have. You need to, as a manager or executive leader in the technology space, understand 1, your stack, and 2, the needs of your staff, and 3, the needs of your customer, and then merge that to come up with a solution that will bring legacy applications, legacy systems into today's technology. Because a lot of the things that were built that long ago, although they might be robust, might be great, all that, when it comes to keeping them updated, upgraded, and then getting the right kind of technical skills to be able to manage, maintain, and secure them is not always easy and becomes expensive. Yes, it might seem like more expensive to migrate, and it's a lot of headache to migrate, I understand that. But what I have seen and what I believe from experience is that the closer you can be to what's the current state of the market with the technology stack that you may have in your business, the easier it is for you to keep up with it and not have such a huge tech debt and tech lag behind that you have to then, 5, 10, 15 years down the track manage. And that again pulls you away from being an innovative force in a business to create an opportunity for growth and innovation in the marketplace for the business that you're working for. So when looking at that from the positive side, that's all the thing. But should you risk and go with the shiniest and the best, quote unquote best, because everything's marketed as the single best thing ever sort of thing? Do we go for that? There's no harm in testing it in a test environment, bringing pilot users on to see if things would work with such a technology. But when you bring it into production, it needs to be done in a staged manner that is better for the organization, better for the productivity of staff, gives the opportunity to be able to train people, also gives the opportunity to be able to do the integration properly so that you don't have issues later. I have seen as well as heard of horror stories of platform migrations where someone up in the organization has gone, let's just pull the system that we've got, put the latest and greatest that this particular vendor has got, and let's run with it, without doing the appropriate testing and understanding the impact of various aspects of the business. In a huge business, there's so many little aspects of the business that a change like that is going to affect. So you need to have evangelists of sorts from all of those departments and areas, no matter how much contribution to the bottom line each of those departments might have. Because at the end of the day, you still want those departments to be able to function, do their best work, and give you that innovative edge that potentially this new platform is going to bring in. So rather than jumping in with the absolute latest, pick a platform that is continuing to evolve, go one step back on a very stable release, make sure that you're working with the various departments, build evangelists within your organization who can test that, go through pilot testing, do a type of a user acceptance style testing, and then do the training, do all of that to acclimate people to that platform before it goes fully into production. It's common sense, but it doesn't always happen, unfortunately. I hear from friends who work in different organizations who are not technologists, who've had someone at the top just, do a shift and change of platforms without understanding the impact that it has downstream. People look at the first order consequence without looking at second, third, fourth, fifth order consequence or beyond of how much impact it has on your staff. Your staff need to be in a rational state to be able to serve your clients. And if they can't serve your clients properly at the agreed on SLAs and all those other things that we have in place, you're going to lose customers. And when you do that, you've not only lost good staff potentially, you've probably lost system integrity, and you've also lost your customers. So you've got losses on multiple degrees that you've got to think about. But at the same time, don't let technology lag so far behind that you can't catch up, like many businesses unfortunately have gotten to. Yes, business needs money to go into all these other departments, but today, unlike any other time in history and going forward, technology is your infrastructure. If you're a CEO, CIO, CTO, CFO, open your eyes. It's time to see this. The technology is part of your infrastructure of your business. It is the business today. Every almost every business is needing the technology to be able to not just stay in business but have some form of competitive advantage, because all your customers are wanting that level of access, being able to have everything at their fingertips. And if you can't provide that, they'll go with the competitor that can provide that ease of use. And all of that is possible if you can keep your stack as close to the latest technology as possible. Which means you might have to work hard on paying 10, 15, 20 years of tech debt that you've accumulated. But you need to have a plan in place. You need to have teams in place to deal with just that while your front end is doing business as usual. If you don't do that, that gap is going to continue to widen until you lose competitive advantage in the marketplace and go out of business. Maybe not today, maybe not in 5 years or even 10 years, but it's coming. So think about long term. Think about the degrees of issues that any change or lack thereof is going to cause. Don't just be stuck on the first degree consequence saying, oh, if we have, if we shift these things, we'll get this advantage. Look at, yes, we shift this, we get these advantages, which give us all these other advantages, but they also have these downsides, and how are we going to mitigate them? Or do we find a way to have different systems that work together in a more effective manner? So the best and the shiniest tech, you can get promised the world, but until it's proven in reality, it's just shiny tech and shiny marketing to go with it. So any project, even small things, even going from one version of operating system to the next, have a process in place, have the validation in place, but don't let it lag too far behind, because that then creates other problems in terms of supporting it, in terms of managing it, in terms of securing it, and in terms of keeping it updated and upgraded and have the integrity that your business needs to have. So hopefully that gives you a perspective on keeping up to date while not being at the bleeding edge and not having tech that puts you at a disadvantage in the marketplace. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please do hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, do hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. I look forward to talking to you in a future episode. Have a great day.